I'm your host, Tommy Venom. Today we're going to be talking about Double or Nothing, my thoughts on that, on the company, the pay-per-view itself, and the direction they're heading in. All that after this introduction. Hi guys, here we are, down under, that's right, Australia. Crikey mate, how you going? Here we are down here, going to discuss Double or Nothing. Wow. How do you even describe this pay-per-view? It was brilliant. I was super happy. I have never been so happy watching a wrestling show for a very long time. Probably since I was a little tacker. I don't even know where to start. That show was just stacked from top to bottom. It was fantastic. It really was. You couldn't have put together a better show almost. Where can I start? The Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes. Holy shnikes. That was incredible. That match had it all. It absolutely had it all. It evoked emotion. It told a story. It was put together well. There were some crazy spots, some crazy sequences, some wicked kickouts. Blood. How good was it to see blood back in wrestling? Bit of colour. I used to love gigging. That's what we call it in the biz, gigging or showing colour. Where it was good to see that back, and I just couldn't have been happy with that match. If you are a wrestling fan, a true wrestling fan, hardcore, and you didn't shed a tear at the end of that match when Cody got back in the ring, I mean, really? You need to take a look at yourself. There was not a dry eye in the house, even here down under, mate, I'm telling you. There was a bit of a tear. There was a bit of a tear. And that's something I haven't had in wrestling for a long time. Probably, yeah, a very long time. Probably only happened a couple times, maybe. That had some real life element to it. And the build for it was nothing. Like, it wasn't nothing, but it was a few YouTube videos. Like, it was great. I mean, the first video, I really liked the first one. If anyone's seen it, it was very cinematic. The music they had behind it and how they went. Obviously, the second one afterwards is kind of the one they went with, which had the Fill Your Shoes song in it, which obviously was in retrospect to Dusty Rhodes and, you know, the boys wanting to live up to his legacy, which, you know, is no easy feat. But like, they didn't have to go out there and cut a scripted promo, which is great. And that's what I'm hearing from my sources, is that AEW is going to be very unscripted, which is great because talent's going to have a lot of freedom. Personally, myself, having been a wrestler, cutting promos, I hated scripted promos. I never did it. I would kind of get told to say, hey, we want to go in this direction. If you can work your way into that, that's fine. Obviously, I had the ability to do so. But when I had a pure 100% creative freedom, which I think is what's going to happen, I really cut some of the best promos, of my life. And, you know, I'd say they're pretty good. They're up there. I've just got poor audio quality of them, so I'm a bit disappointed because the camera stuffed up that night that was filming the show. Hate that. I was going to F5 the cameraman, I swear to God. But yeah, like I said, the build-up was fantastic. They only did a few YouTube clips and it was great. You know, it wasn't going on Monday Night Raw and, you know, my name's Braun Strowman, I hate Roman Reigns, he's going to get these hands. Like, really? How is that selling tickets? How is that? It's not interesting me, I know that. I know he's being made to say that. It's boring. I don't believe it. And that's what made this incredible, was that it was credible. It was a real kind of life story told. There was differences between the brothers. And it was fantastic. It really was. And that's, in my opinion, that was a 5-star match. It really was. And it stole the show. It could have... The following 2 matches were fantastic as well, and I'm not discarding that at all. So let's get on to them as well. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. Holy shnikes. That was the best tag team match I've ever seen. One of, for sure, if not the top 2 or 3. That had it all. That told a killer story as well. You know, the Young Bucks having that bit of ring rust, both brother teams, how good's that? You know, the Young Bucks were kind of their own worst enemy during that match, making a few mistakes, ring rust. Man, the Lucha Brothers, they were sharp. Ray Phoenix, Pentagon Jr., hats off, boys. What a performance. And so did the Young Bucks as well. I mean, you can't discount them. They have got to be, you know, if you're talking top tag teams in wrestling, they've got to be in the top 3. If you're having that discussion, there's just no doubt about it. They've got to be top 3. That had some unbelievable sequences. Unbelievable. There was not, if you did not mark out for that match at all, I mean, wow. And I know we don't like to be marks or smarks or, you know, but I don't care, right? I'll tell you, I loved it. I loved that match. Great storytelling, great finishes during the match. I can't speak highly of that match. I can't speak any more highly. And then to close the show, I know we haven't spoken about some of the other matches during the show. They were all amazing as well. Not discounting any of those wrestlers. SCU and the Strong Hearts, fantastic 3-way match. Wow, fantastic. You had the women's match, great. Oh my God, Awesome Kong coming back. How good was that segue? Like, what? I want an awesome match. Bang, Awesome Kong comes out. That crowd erupted, mate. They went off their nana. So that was brilliant. What else? Angelico, Chris Evans versus the Best Friends. Another solid tag team match. I mean, really, if that is what is to come from AEW, I can't wait. I really can't wait because they delivered. They knocked it out of the park. Then you had the 3-way, the 3-woman tag team match with the wrestlers from Japan. Now, I thought this is where they may lose a bit of the crowd because a lot of people might not know who these wrestlers are. Some do. If you're a hardcore fan, you probably knew most of them. And they really tore it down as well. I mean, I was hooked. Not going to lie. Finish was pretty good. I can see a couple of those stars signing. I really can. I'm not going to say who. I'm going to leave it up to you to decide. But mark my words, I think there'll be 1 or 2 at least that will sign and a full-time contract. But let's jump back to... one thing I also wanted to mention was the Cody Rhodes, Dustin Rhodes match. Brandy Rhodes back in the Spear. My God. Roman Reigns, how does it feel? That's how you do it. That's how you do a spear. You need to watch Brandy Rhodes or you need to watch Goldberg. They can spear. Fantastic. That match had it all, man. I keep harping on about it, but it had it all. Emotion, the storytelling, the blood was there. You had Earl Hebner. How good to see Earl Hebner back, man. And he did the whole, you're out of here. Brandy Rhodes hit the showers. And then obviously DDP come out. I mean, it had the classic spots in it. It was so old school, but still a bit new school. The crowd was lit. I mean, the crowd was lit. It was such a good match. I've watched it a few times. And then to close the show, we had Alpha versus Omega. Chris Jericho, Y2J versus Kenny Omega, the Cleaner. Not sure he still calls himself that, though. Also, a great match. Definitely, I mean, I would have closed on maybe Cody Dustin, but now looking back, you could have closed on Pentagon Jr. versus the Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks. You really could have. But in saying that, obviously they needed the Chris Jericho angle to play out. And I'm glad that Chris went over. I think from a perspective, again, like, some fans, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, you know Kenny Omega, you know that guy is good. You know he's legit. But a lot of the average fans, you know Chris Jericho. Everyone knows Chris Jericho. He's a household name. So to watch him and Jericho and Omega go at it, and then have some hard fought match, some close near falls, you know that Kenny Omega is legit. So it builds his stock at the same time. And I think it legitimises him and AEW a bit more, having Chris Jericho there. I mean, let's look at it. Chris Jericho, what is he? First ever undisputed champion in wrestling for WWF, WWE at the time, I think. Don't quote me on that. 9-time Intercontinental champion, main evented WrestleMania, tag team champion, United States champion. Arguably had one of the best feuds in WWE history with Kevin Owens, which don't know why that match was on second at WrestleMania that time, but that's another story. So it legitimises the company, and now you got him versus Adam Page. But the big talking point out of all, Double or Nothing, was Jon Moxley. The unscripted violence is back. I mean, I can't wait to see this bloke in a good company, with good production, with creative freedom. And he's clearly in the best shape of his life. I mean, have a look at the bloke. He is looking pretty good. And he just looks like a weight's been lifted. He looks happy, he looks refreshed, he looks raring to go. I mean, how can you not be excited? That place exploded when he came out. It absolutely went off. And I couldn't be more happy with the ending of that show. It was fantastic. What a great pay-per-view. I can't wait to see the Fighter Fest. I can't wait to see All Out. I can't wait to see the weekly shows, which I heard are going to be 2-hour shows, if you don't know. 2-hour shows, which is a perfect time limit for wrestling. 3 hours is too much, an hour is kind of not enough. I think 2 hours is spot on. I also want a special mention. I can't believe I haven't spoken about this yet in this video. Also want a special mention. How good is it to hear good old JR back on the commentary? Wow. I know I'm excited. My ears were loving it. It was like music to my ears. It really was. To hear him, some of his calls, he is the greatest commentator of all time. In my opinion, he is the greatest commentator of all time. Debate that all you want. That's my opinion. To hear him, this is what you live for when you're a wrestling fan. We're seeing this action live. Welcome to Las Vegas, Nevada. It was, I can't impersonate him quite well. I need a bit of practice. But and he legitimizes the show as well, I feel. It gives it that other credibility. And he's only going to get better. He's still a little bit rusty, still learning probably talent and names and movesets and stuff. But it was fantastic. Tony Khan, hat goes off to you, my friend, for being able to get this business plan together, get it passed, get the talent, the Young Bucks, Cody, Omega, and, everyone involved, even the production crew. Thank you. You guys are the unsung heroes as well. And I couldn't be happier. There was a few botches there, but nothing major. Nothing that really was detrimental to the show at all. There was a few timing issues I've seen. Probably the main one that stood out to me was when Cody came out. The camera was on the wrong tunnel, but quickly rectified. And then obviously the throne breaker thing, how good was that? To say that wasn't a shot at Triple H or WWE, laughable. But who didn't enjoy it? That place erupted. Loved it. Anyways, guys, if you'd like to see more reviews like this, or more opinions, or more backstage news, like I said, did drop a few things here. The wrestling show that's going to air late in the fall is going to be a 2-hour show. I'm hearing it's either going to be on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night. I know a certain trademark has been filed for Tuesday night, but I am hearing that Wednesday is the night. So keep a lookout for that one. And I've heard from backstage reports that show couldn't have gone any better. So I look forward to Fighter Fest, which is next. And I'll definitely have a review up here for that. If you liked what I said and you liked some of the information, or you want some news every now and then that's going to pop up, please hit the like and subscribe button and share this with all your friends. So from all of us here, mainly me, down under, Tommy Venom signing off.